Hello and welcome to Bird of Prey sequence here in the UK. It's January, it's a bit of a grey month. There's not a lot of food around, so the birds are all in flight quite a lot looking for food. So I've taken inspiration from those birds in the air and to put together today's sequence, looking at the qualities of both flight, their other movement as they look around, the joy of being a bird, and the joy of yoga. So let's get on with it. Let's get ourselves onto the mat. I'm going to take my watch off actually. I don't like wearing things on the wrist as I practice. And I'm going to take my socks off too actually. So hope you've got yourself together. It's going to be about an hour or so. And I want you to take a seated position, however works for you. And just allow yourself to comfortably sit with the back straight-ish, shoulders away from the neck. And if that doesn't work for you, you can obviously lie down too. I think it's much more about just getting into the body right now. Just kind of tuning in and listening to what the body needs. How your breath feels. I invite you to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth if you're not already. Just tuning into how the body, the toes, the calves, the thighs, the shoulders, the elbows are all feeling. Sending breath to those areas of the body that are needing attention from you. I'm going to share a little visualization with you now. If that doesn't work for you, just keep breathing and just focusing on yourself for the next few moments. But if you'd like to join me, you'd like to imagine yourself as a bird. You could be perched somewhere comfortable. You could be nested. You could be in flight. I invite you to look around you and notice the colours of your surroundings, the shapes around you. Notice the temperature. Noticing the smells. And as you look around yourself, what colours are your feathers? What size is your body? How does being a bird make you feel? And I'm going to invite you from here to, when you're ready, looking up around you, to take flight. So to take yourself into the air, flapping your wings, getting some momentum, getting yourself up into the sky, maybe the clouds, depending what your weather is doing. And your flight will be different according to what your bird is. So just focusing on your pace and your rhythm of your flight. Maybe flying from side to side or up and down. Enjoying the glide and the swoop. Enjoying that freedom of movement, the spirit. And from here, I'm going to ask you to look for somewhere to land, somewhere to perch maybe. Could be up high, could be down low, could be where you started. And take yourself back to that space. Or take yourself back, or take yourself forward to your perch, your new place. You might have traveled some distance. Taking your time to land carefully, using your joints with ease, settling yourself in, and then tuning yourself back into your breath. Coming back into your own body now. I'm going to invite you to bring your palms together in front of you and give them a rub, get some heat generated. When you've got warmed hands, I'm going to invite you to bring the palms of your hands over your eyes, letting that heat transfer from palm to socket. And when you've warmed the eyes up, I'm going to invite you to just lower the palms, allowing the fingertips to just lightly placed over the eyelids and allowing the eyelids to flutter open, bringing you back into the space. And from here, we're going to warm our bodies up. We're going to take ourselves onto our knees into hero pose, bringing ourselves forward and over, bringing our heads onto the mat. Taking a breath here as we settle in. On the next breath in, you're going to bring the body up. You're going to roll the shoulders up to your ears and then behind you. Taking that chest up to the sky, maybe the gaze too. And then as you're breathing out, rolling the shoulders forward, bringing yourself over. Bring that head onto the floor. I'm going to do that a couple more times. So breathing in, inhale. And exhale. Rolling forward and down. And again, breathing in. Rolling back. And rolling forward as you exhale. And coming forward. One more time. Breathing in. And exhale. And then from here, we're going to slide the arms out in front of us, giving us a good stretch through the arms. Maybe opening the knees up a little bit as well, just to allow that body to make a bit more contact as we take child's pose. Maybe walking those hands a little further forward so we feel a nicer stretch through the arms. And taking some breaths here in and out. Taking some breath in, maybe deep into the diaphragm in the back, just feeling that raise up as you inhale and exhale as it lowers down. One more breath in and out. We're going to walk the hands over to the right, so you're giving a stretch down the left side of the body. Trying to imagine you're breathing deep into that left lung as you breathe in and out. Breath in, feeling that, visualizing maybe that breath traveling along the arm to the tips of the fingers. And out. And the last breath for yourself. Walking the hands back to center. And then over to the left side. And stretching down the right side of the body. Breath in. Breath out. Again, breathing deep into that right lung. Clearing out any old dirty air. One more breath for yourself. And then from there, walking the hands back to center. And then from here, we're going to come up onto our hands and knees into tabletop. Just going to square the hands away under the shoulders, squaring the knees under the hips.
And then from here, just pushing into the ground with the knees in the hands to stabilize yourself, taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, it's like you're pushing the ground away. You're sucking that tummy and letting that head drop between the arms. So you've got a nice strong arch. Taking a breath in and out. On the next breath in, taking a look up towards the sky, letting the tummy drop down towards the mat. Maybe letting the shoulders come up towards the ears as you take a breath in and out. Breath in. As you breathe out, returning to cat. Sending that breath out. Tipping that pelvis under, scooping it under. So you're really increasing that curve in the spine. Breath in. And pushing way out. Breath in. Taking yourself into cow one more time. Letting that tummy drop down. You're tilting the pelvis away from you. So you're really exercising and deepening that curve down towards the ground. And then breath in, coming back to neutral. We're going to take that again, but we're going to take that with a flow now. So as we breathe in and then push away into cat, we're going to take ourselves backwards, taking our bottom onto our feet. And then as we're pushing through into cow, as we're inhaling, we're going to travel along the mat and come forward either into cobra or into upward dog, depending on how we're feeling today. And then back into cat as we inhale and exhale. Traveling along the mat as we take ourselves, inhaling into cow. Either cobra or upward dog. Just listening to your body. Breathing out one more time as we take ourselves through cat and down, and then inhaling to travel forward and along into the cobra or upward dog, and then bringing ourselves back to neutral. And from here, we're going to take ourselves into a threading the needle sequence for the hands, warming up our arms. So inhaling, taking that right hand up towards the sky, and then exhaling, taking that right hand under the left arm, stretching out along the ground. Inhaling to come up, active hand, and exhaling, reaching out along the ground, active hand as it stretches. One more time. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling, reaching out and along. From here, we're going to hold this position, taking our right shoulder onto the ground, extending that left hand along the ground. So there's a nice strong L with the arms. If you want to deepen it slightly for yourself, you can roll to your left and bring your shoulders square to the ground. That's quite strong. So again, just listening to what works for you, but taking some breaths wherever you are. Breath in. And as you breathe out, maybe pushing into the ground with that left hand and the back of the right hand. So really keeping those arms active during the sequence. Last breath for yourself. And then bring the left hand under the left shoulder. Take the right hand back up to the sky. And then resetting back into tabletop. And we're going to take that on the other side. So taking the left hand up towards the sky. And then taking it out and long under the right arms, reaching out. One more time, or two more times actually. Inhaling, reaching up, and then keeping that active hand coming under, out and long as you exhale. One more time. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, reaching out and long. We're going to hold this. So we're going to keep our left shoulder on the ground and extend that right hand out and along the mat to the top of the mat, keeping that L shape that we had on the other side. And again, you might have one side a bit more warmed up than the other, depending on what you've been doing before your practice. So you might want to, on this side, roll to keep those shoulders square, or just keep Using that nice strong L, pressing in with the right hand and the back of the left hand into the ground. One more inhale for yourself. On the next in-breath, bringing the right hand under the right shoulder, taking the left hand up towards the sky, and then bringing it back into tabletop. And from here, we're going to work the arms and the legs. We're going to extend the right arm and the left leg, making sure you've got plenty of room to do so. Stretching through, sometimes known as goose asana, the flight of a bird. So quite useful for our bird of prey sequence. Breath in. Extend as you exhale. You're going to bring the elbow and the knee together underneath you. Bring that head into. Inhaling to extend. Exhaling to gather underneath. Inhaling to extend. Exhaling to gather underneath. Inhaling to extend. Exhaling to gather underneath. Inhaling to extend. You're going to put the right hand on the ground, but keep the left foot in the air. And you're going to cross that leg over at the back, over that right leg of yours. And then we're going to walk our hands back, taking ourselves into shoelace position. And you kind of want to keep the hips fairly even. If it feels like you're just tipping too much, you can use a brick or just try a brick and see if that just feels more comfortable to you. The kind of emphasis here is that we're crossing the legs over and in a strong kind of alignment to keep or create a stretch down the right side of the leg and indeed the left side of the leg. And then once we're there, we're going to bring the right arm up and in front, and then we're going to take the left arm underneath for Gudrasana, eagle arms. Taking the hands into each other if that works, or if you want to, just holding the hands next to each other. Just what feels comfortable for your body. And we're going to take a breath in, extend the arms upwards, and then as we exhale, bringing the arms into the lap, and then allowing the head to follow once everything's kind of curled over. It's a pretty strong position. The body's working in so many different ways to support you in this position. It can be quite wonderful to visualize the breath traveling around, all these complicated bends and holds. Maybe chasing the breath from the toes to the knees, to the pelvis, to the core, to the shoulder, to the elbow, to the tips of the fingers, to the forehead, and then all down the spine. Taking one more breath for yourself. From here, as you take your next breath in, you can let the head come back into alignment with the spine, and then just lifting the arms gently, unwinding the arms from around each other, and then maybe just allowing yourself a little movement in the wrists, maybe a little movement in the shoulders, whatever works for you. And from here, we're going to rock backwards and then forward. So the idea is that we want to really bring the momentum into the front of our body, so we can crawl out using our core, obviously, and then stretching back out one more time into goose asana. And then bring yourself back into tabletop, and we're going to do that all on the other side. So extending the left arm, the right leg, feeling that alignment, that pull. So someone's got your left hand and your right foot and they're pulling it simultaneously. And then inhaling, as we exhale, we're going to bring the elbow and the knee and the head into each other underneath the body. Exhaling, reaching out. And then exhaling, we're going to bring it all in. Inhale to extend. Exhale to gather. Inhale to extend. Exhale to bring it all in. One more time. Inhale to extend. Exhale to gather. And from here, we're going to extend one more time, but we're going to keep the right foot in the air as we bring the left hand onto the mat. And then crossing that right leg over the left, walking those hands back like we did before. And it might be different on this side for yourself. So you might need a brick on this side even if you didn't need it on the other. So again, just listening to what the body needs from you. And then shoelace as well. It can work so many ways. You can bring the feet in or the feet out. So just tuning into the body and how it's been working from you. And on this side, we're going to bring the left arm up, the right arm under. And once you're there, no matter how you're doing it, taking a breath in, just raising those arms up, just to feel that stretch through the arms before you bring in and gather into the body. And from there, bring the head in too. Feeling that stretch of the shoulder blades, that stretch in the hips. Deepening your breath. One more breath for yourself. You're already taking a breath in. Bring that head up first. And then bring the arms up just gently, and then very kindly with yourself unwinding the hands, and then just allowing a wrist rotation or something else if you're feeling it differently. Certainly in the shoulders too. And then from there, we're going to take ourselves, rock back and forward. So we can take ourselves back into that finishing pose, extending the left arm and the right leg, stretching it, resetting the spine, the arms, the legs, and then coming back into tabletop. And from there, the feet are going to come together at the behind us, and we're going to come back into a high kneel. And from here, just going to allow ourselves to just feel that kind of moment of literally wind beneath the wings. So we're going to take a breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to just waft back. So in a straight line, keeping our core engaged, we're kind of just moving back, so allowing those arms to float up. And then as we inhale, come back. And again, when you're ready, inhale. Exhale to come back. Exhale. Or inhale to come up, depending on how your rhythm of your breath is right now. We're going to take that again. Inhaling, circling the right arm up. And then as it comes behind, we're going to breathe out. That right hand might come down to the ground or not. But just feeling that, adding a bit more movement to this seat. Because inhaling the left arm up and then behind, breathing out. And then coming back to join. And then again, inhaling, both arms raise up in a big circle and exhale. And then coming up. It's almost like a soft camel, I suppose. And now we're going to bring our arms up in parallel, up to the ceiling. And we're going to, I'm just turning to you to show you, but we're going to bring our arms into a V with the palms held down as we take ourselves back into that position. That slight lean back with the whole body, tummy quite engaged. Breath in, breath out. And these arms are going to be used quite a lot in today's sequence, so it's kind of good to just introduce them now, know what we're talking about. Breath in. As we breathe out, bring the body upright. And then from here, I'm going to bring the hands onto the mat. We're going to curl the toes under, and then we're going to bring our bottoms on to our heels and just allow the soles of the feet to stretch through. Just feeling that and breathing through it. I do think about birds' feet sometimes. They don't really stretch very much. They're always kind of quite held and tense, always holding onto a branch or something. So I think it's quite good to stretch the feet out for ourselves. Last breath. And then from here we're going to take ourselves into our first downward dog of the practice. So just allowing ourselves to come up and stretch through. You don't need to fully extend the legs or the arms. It's just listening to what your body wants from you. I feel like my body's saying, I want a really good stretch through, pushing into the hands and the feet. But you might want to transfer weight instead. You might want to circle the hips. But once you've had a good tune into the body to listen to what it wants from you, I'm going to invite you to bend the right leg in your downward dog. From here, we're going to take the left leg over, particularly the left thigh over the right thigh. And then from there, if you really bend the right leg, you can sometimes get a bit more of a access of the foot to the calf. But again, if it doesn't work for you, just hold the foot by the shin. So just listening to what works for you. And then from there, we're going to take a breath in. We're going to come forward into plank. And then as we breathe out, we're going to return to downward dog. Coming forward, breathing in into plank with your legs in Gurjasana. So this is eagle legs. And then pushing back as you exhale into downward dog. One more time. Breathing in, coming forward. And breathing out. Legs in Gurjasana. And then from there, going to unwind gently and kindly, maybe a pedal through the legs. And then we're going to take that on the other side. So we're going to bend that left leg, and then from that, then bring the right thigh over the left thigh, maybe taking the foot around or just holding by the shin, depending on how you're. And again, each side of the body is different. From here, we're going to do as we did, taking a breath in to come forward into plank. And then exhale, pushing back into downward dog. Push, inhaling, coming into plank. Maybe a slight squeeze of the legs at this point, depending on how you're feeling. If it's tough enough, then just go with it. But if you want to, just adding a gentle left and right leg squeeze into each other. Exhaling, coming back into downward dog. And then from here, going to unwind the legs. Going to walk through the feet. And from here, we're going to walk the feet up towards the hands. Very gently and easily, just into a forward fold. So we're going to take ourselves into forward fold. You don't need to fully straighten the legs or the arms. The most important thing is here is just to let the spine kind of dangle. I'm not going into a strong dangle pose. I just really want that spine, not just the thoracic, but the sacroiliac, lumbar, as well as the thoracic and the cervical. And then the head, that wet head, just like letting that gravity just work through. So really stretching through. Might be feeling it in the hamstrings too. Taking one more breath here. From here, we are going to bend the legs now, a little more, maybe, and just rest the chest on the thighs. Just letting the head drop down, and just then from that, start to uncurl the body, bringing it upright. Allowing you to just come through until eventually that head comes to in alignment with the spine. Just enjoy that space you've just given our spines. That's so lovely, isn't it? And from here, I'm going to invite you to just find where your weight needs to be. So maybe just with a rock of the hips and the feet side to side or front to back. And I'm keeping my eyes closed for now because it's quite wonderful just to really focus on the sensations. And then once you're kind of comfortable roughly with the feet, I'm going to invite you to bring all 5 toes off each foot off the ground and then bring them back into contact with the mat one by one. There we go. Just feeling that what the feet are doing, how active they are in this Tadasana in mountain pose.
And we're going to bring our hips, our pelvis into alignment with our feet. So just again, just listening to the body, where it feels it. Suddenly there's a little kind of almost a chime from within when you know you just got the right alignment. That space and place feels good. And then the same with the organs, the heart, bringing them into alignment, which feels good for you. And in the head. And from here we're going to take a nice strong breath in. Arms gathering breath as they come up from the side into prayer position. And then we're going to bring the hands to a pause by the heart as they take prayer. Just pushing the hands into each other just to kind of reiterate that aliveness of the body, that blood, that energy, everything it's doing for us right now. And then we're going to release the hands either side of the hips. And we're going to take a couple of sun salutations just to take us into our bird of prey sequence. So breath in. Hands may touch, coming together, passing the heart, bringing yourself into a forward fold down to the ground. Inhale into half fold. Exhale back to forward fold, stepping back into plank, lowering into chaturanga, maybe coming through to cobra or upward dog before raising those hips and taking yourself into downward dog. A nice sumptuous downward dog. Breath in, breath out. Pushing into the ground with his feet and hands. And then from there, walking the feet back up to meet the hands, taking yourself into a forward fold. Inhaling to a half fold, lowering to a forward fold. And from there, gathering breath, gathering energy as you bring the hands up above you and past the heart and releasing that energy either side of the hips. And again, breath in. Bring the hands past the heart as you bring yourself from forward fold down to the ground. Inhale to half fold. Exhale to forward fold. Stepping back into plank. Lowering into chaturanga. Inhaling into either cobra or upward dog for raising those hips. Taking yourself into downward dog. Breath in. Jumping those feet up towards those hands or stepping, whatever works for you. Take yourself into a forward fold. Inhale to half fold. Exhale to forward fold. Taking the hands out to the side as you gather breath and energy, hands coming overhead. Bringing that into the heart. And then releasing the energy and hands either side. Going into sun salutation B now. So gathering the hands again. Bringing them forward and down to the ground. Inhaling to half fold. Exhaling to forward fold. From here, pushing with the feet into the ground as you extend those arms up in parallel into chair. So pushing those feet into the ground. You can take a moment of challenge here if you want and just feel that kind of, that weight moment. Just to really feel that through the legs. And then from here, taking a breath in, folding down to the ground as you forward fold. And a step back into plank, lowering into chaturanga, extending forward to cobra or upward dog before bringing the hips up, taking yourself into nice downward dog. Breath in, bring the right foot through to the inside of the right hand, extending those hands up towards the sky. And when you're almost there, we're just going to turn those palms down. We're keeping the hands a little bit further forward just to help keep those shoulders down and get that chest feeling strong and up. Breath in and out. Breath in. When you're ready, folding forward over that front leg. Taking that right leg behind you from plank down to chaturanga. Forward to cobra or upward dog. For raising the hips up to downward dog. From here, left foot comes through into warrior feet with our hands coming up into the bird of prey position. It can be quite easy to just bring that left hip forward. So just trying to keep those hips square. to the front of the mat. Once up, breath in, breath out, breath in, and coming forward over that front leg. Hands either side, foot comes back from plank, down to chaturanga, forward to cobra, upward dog, before raising those hips, up and out. And we're going to take our right foot through to the inside of the right hand, warrior one feet, taking those hands back up through warrior to bird of prey. And from here, we're going to take a breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to lower those arms to the side, nice and wide. And then from there, we're going to bring our right arm in front for Gujrasana. Again, eagle arms. Using them differently with our movement here. So again, either back of palms or palms together. And I'm going to just take a breath in. And as we breathe out, lower those arms downwards. Just sitting with it for a breath. Maybe just feeling that across the shoulders and the back. Breath in. Bringing the head up first, followed by the arms. Untwining them. Taking them back out again to that nice, strong, wide position. We're going to straighten that front right leg. Turn to the side. And then from here, we're going to bring left arm in front, right arm underneath. However you bring the hands together, taking a breath in, just inhaling to bring up and then allowing yourself to come forward fold in straddle, down to the ground, using gravity to help stretch the shoulder blades, the back, the arms, letting everything just come down towards the ground. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, unwinding the hands. Going to walk the hands over towards the right foot. We're going to take ourselves into surfer's lunge. So keeping the heel down so you can really feel that stretch through the left. It feels easier and better sometimes to just come down, but we'll be doing that in a minute. So let's just warm ourselves up through lunge, breath in, breath out. And then walking the hands over to the other side. Again, flexing that right foot and allowing a nice strong stretch through that right heel. Breath in, breath out. Walking those hands over to the right foot. We are going to bring ourselves up now into Skandasana. So coming up on that right foot a little, whatever feels good for you. The most kind of important thing here really is to kind of use that core to find that center and bring those hands together. If you need to keep one hand on the ground, that's great. Just kind of take that there. Bringing the right hands together as we focus. Yeah, and from there, bring the hands down to the ground, turning round to your right, bringing yourself into lunge over that right leg. From there, we're going to take the right foot, take it behind into downward dog for a breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to bring the left foot through to the inside of the left hand and take that all on the other side. So bring the hands up from warrior into bird of prey, taking a breath in. And as we breathe out, lowering the hands into a nice strong wide T. And from here we're going to take our hands into Gujrasana again. So left arm up this time, right arm underneath. Giving them a little squeeze into each other. Breath in, breathing out, bringing Gujrasana arms down for a moment. And the back stretch through. Breath in, breath out. Breath in. Bringing the body upright, the head upright. From there, releasing the arms, taking them out in a strong wide T. We're going to straighten that front leg and we're going to turn to our right this time. And this time we're going to bring the right arm in front and then the left arm underneath for Gujrasana.
Arms inhaling to come up, exhaling to come down in a forward fold while in straddle, down to the ground. Using gravity to let the arms stretch down towards the ground. Let the head hang heavy to allow the back to stretch through too. The shoulder blades, letting everything just release. Breath in, breath out. Breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to unwind the arms. And then you're going to take the arms over to the left foot for surfer's lunge. Over to the left, extending that right foot, flexing that right foot, feeling the energy shooting out through that right foot. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, walking the hands over to the right foot. For a breath in, breath out. Again, just trying to keep that heel down if you can, just coming up a bit if it needs to help the heel to stay down. So just feeling a slightly different structure of the leg. Walking the hands over to the left. This time, we're going to bring ourselves into Skandasana. So bringing ourselves up on that left foot. It doesn't have to be a high balance on the foot, but just the real emphasis here is on allowing you to find that center, using the hand if you want to, but bringing that everything together in the middle. Breath in, breath out, maybe finding a gaze point if you need one on the wall or the floor in front. Do pause the video at this moment just to find that pose if it's really getting to you. It's so satisfying to find it. But also, if it's just not the thing today, then just leave it. You can come back to this another day. So bring the hands down to the ground. We're going to turn to the left, taking ourselves into a lunge over the left foot. And then from there, take that left foot behind us from plank into chaturanga, extending forward into cobra or upward dog before taking our hips up into downward dog. I'm just going to give ourselves a little bit more space. From here, I'm going to take a breath in. And as we breathe out into our downward dog, we're going to raise the right foot into the air. We're going to take a breath in to rise up onto our toes. Exhale to come down. Rising up to come up into the toes. Exhale to come down. From here, going to swing the right leg through. Bringing it into warrior one. Foot positioning. Bringing ourselves upright. Arms into bird of prey arms. Breath in. Breath out. Letting those shoulders dissolve away from the ears. Breath in. I'm going to come forward and over. Taking those arms behind us into a nice strong V. And then from there, pressing that chest onto that right thigh. So creating a compression here if you can. It's a lovely moment to just think about flying like we did in our visualization. Just remembering what we saw as we flew below us. Maybe bringing it back to us now. Breath in. You're going to bring the fingers behind you, interlacing them. And then from there, as you take your next breath in, bring the body upright. Bringing the chest through the shoulders, taking the gaze up towards the sky. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, coming back, forward, over that right thigh again, pressing that chest into the thigh. But this time bringing the arms up. This time allowing the arms to come up, so you're kind of deepening that stretch across the chest and into the shoulder blades. Breath in, breath out. Breath in. And then releasing those hands from behind you, swinging them down and circling them to bring them back into your bird of prey position. Breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to transfer weight onto that right front foot. We're going to take our arms in a low V either side of our hips. And from here, we're going to lift that left foot into the air, taking it into warrior three, which could be a low balance. Or if you want to, you can take it into a strong T if that works for you. But again, it's just how everybody's feeling today. But once you've got that balance,
we're going to fly. We're going to let our arms just release, free, moving, really imagining that flight. Like we're so high up in the clouds, we can barely see down below. And then from there, when you're ready, bringing that left foot down to the mat, swinging those arms through back to bird of prey, breath in, coming over that front right leg, down to the mat, taking that right foot behind, lowering into chaturanga, inhaling into either cobra or upward dog before raising the hips up into downward dog. And we're going to take that on the other side now. So raising the left leg into the air, into three-legged dog. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, rising up on the right foot. Exhaling to come down. Rising up as you inhale. Exhaling to come down. Swinging that left leg through to the inside of the left hand. Taking those arms up through warrior into bird of prey. Bringing that right hip a little round, just a square, so you're nicely aligned in the body. Breath in, breath out. Always add a little bit of movement if you fancy it here too. Breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to bring ourselves forward and over that front left thigh, pressing the chest, creating a nice compression here as you breathe in. Arms in a V behind you. This could almost be like a low glide, hovering over the hedgerows, the grasses. And from here, taking the hands behind you, interlacing them. And when you're ready, exhaling, bringing the body up, taking the chest back, the gaze up to the sky. Just feeling that stretch through the shoulders. It can help to bring that right shoulder around a little bit at this point too. Breath in, breath out. Breath in. Bring the body forward, bringing the body to press into that left leg again. Raising those arms up behind you. So you're feeling an even deeper stretch through the arms and the chest. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Slowly and releasing the fingers from their interlaced positions. Swinging the arms through. Taking yourself back through to your bird of prey pose. And from here we're going to transfer weight into that front left leg. So bringing ourselves into balance on that left leg. Arms in a nice low V, either side of the body. Using them already to guide you into that balance. Again, whatever sort of balance works for you today. It might be different on in each side. But once you've found a warrior 3 that's working for you, then just take flight again. Let those arms go. It's brilliant for the brain to have that free, kind of responsive movement while balancing. It's really great for the mind and the body. And you've had enough of a flight. Taking that right foot back onto the ground. And then from there, taking it into warrior 1, legs with your arms coming through to bird of prey. And then from there, coming forward and over that front left leg. Hands either side of the leg. Taking yourself into plank. Chaturanga. Coming through to cobra upward dog. Bringing yourself up into downward dog. And then from here, when you're ready, feeling that stretch through the legs and the arms. You're going to bring the knees down to the mat. Going to bring ourselves into child's pose. Again, just creeping those hands out a little bit to just feel that stretch through the arms. Breath in and out. Breath in and out. When you're ready, taking a breath in, just allowing your nose to kind of glide along the mat as you stretch your body out onto its front. And from here, we're going to take ourselves into Sphinx pose. So taking the arms in front, so the shoulders are above the elbows, and the hands are kind of squared in front.
And once you're there, you're just feeling those knees pressing into the ground and the tops of the feet too. And then allowing that head to follow the alignment of the spine. You kind of know it when you're in the right positions for Sphinx. It just flows and everything engages. So keep exploring if you haven't found it yet. But if you have found it, just allowing that breath to glide in and out the body. Maybe again, just visualizing that breath. Moving into the pelvic core as you inhale. And out through the pelvic core, the heart, the mouth, and out. Just that soft engagement of the tummy. This pose reminds me of the birds of prey around here when they're just sat on like telegraph poles, just watching the ground for any signs of movement, any signs of food. Just that watching, completely tuned in. And that's hopefully how we are now. If you want to take it a little further for a couple of breaths, we can. We're going to open the arms out, the hands to the corners of the mat and take ourselves up into seal. Again, keeping that head in line with the spine. If it feels too strong, just come straight back to Sphinx. And even Sphinx can be too strong at times. So if you are in that place, just taking the hands into each other and just allowing that forehead to come into rest on those hands. I'm just going, wherever you are, seal, Sphinx, or rest, just taking a few more breaths. Or if you're in seal, I'm just going to invite you to take a breath in. And as you exhale, bring the elbows down to the mat. Bring the hands together wherever you are, if you're in Sphinx and seal in, and taking the elbows out to the side, resting the hands and resting the head on the hands, resting the body on the mat, just letting everything release. From here, we're just going to pat the tops of the feet on the mat just to kind of give a little energy, but also just let that kind of that lower back shake out a little bit as well in the pelvis area. And then from there, we're going to turn onto our backs. So bringing ourselves onto our backs into half shavasana. We're going to, taking our hands to either side of the hips, going to bring our left foot in the air first. I'm going to take Gujrasana legs one last time, so eagle legs. So again, crossing over at the thigh, maybe bringing the right foot through or just squeezing together, but bring the feet back onto the floor. And then from there, when you're ready, taking a breath in. And as you breathe out, just creating a little compression in the legs, so just a little squeeze. So equal between the left and the right leg. On the next breath in, going to just allow those legs to tip over to the left. Again, just playing with it for yourself. I feel like I need to bring the legs up a little bit closer to my body here, but you just listen. And then taking our arms into a nice big T, allowing that spine to twist top to bottom. And if you want to, you can take that right, head over to the right, just to gaze at the right hand if you want to deepen it a little bit further. Releasing any compression on the legs now, just letting everything kind of relax and seep into this twist. I'm going to invite you to take 2 big breaths and then sighs out. Just allow yourself to really release into it. So taking a breath in now if you want to join. Big breath out. Big breath in. And out. When you're ready, breath in. Bring the head back to center as you breathe out. Breath in. Using your hands for support, bring your knees back to center. And then once you're there, very gently and very kindly listening to your body, unwind the legs, maybe bringing them into the chest for a squeeze and a reset. And then we're going to take that on the other side. So we're going to take the right leg and twist the left thigh over the right thigh, maybe bringing the left foot round, or at least just holding them together. Bring them back onto the ground, the soles of the feet, that is. And then from there, taking the hands into a big wide T. You're going to take a breath in. You're going to squeeze the legs together. On the next breath in. As you exhale, you're going to tip those legs over to the right. Just let them fall. Maybe bringing the legs a little bit closer up towards the right arm. And once you've found a position that works, maybe looking over towards the left hand with your gaze. Just allowing yourself to just breathe into it. And if you want to join me, we're going to take 2 deep breaths and sighs. So breathing deeply in. Big sigh out. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Big breath in. And bring the head back to neutral. And then from there, when you're ready, big breath in and bring the legs back up. And then very gently, sometimes it feels harder on the second time as well, just unwinding the legs, bringing the legs into the chest for a squeeze. Feels a little bit like I want to take a happy baby, so I'm going to take a happy baby. So you can do it either with your toes, bringing the toes. I quite like to squeeze my arches of my feet, squeeze my feet, and then bring the knees down to either side of the outsides of my armpits. Like I'm wringing out a lemon, wringing out any last bits of negativity, dirt. Just doing that breath. Last breath for yourself. And then from here, taking yourself into shavasana. So whatever kind of shavasana works for you. I really enjoy taking a bolster under the legs, particularly the knees, just letting that kind of help with the back, and then bricks. Or you could just use books under the hands. That is a very comfortable shavasana, but you just play and work it out for yourself. Anything I do need is like a jumper or something, feeling a little bit cool here, so I might put my socks on. But you settle into your shavasana. I'm going to invite you to release any last moments of tension you might be holding in the body. Inviting you to be aware of where the body is making contact with the mat right now. And allowing those last moments of tension to seep out of you, the body, onto the mat, into the ground and into the earth. Letting it all go. Letting go of any tension you might be holding in the toes, the arches of the feet, the heels, the ankles, the shins, the calves. Letting go in the knees, the thighs, the hips, releasing in the pelvis, releasing any tension in the diaphragm, letting go in the ribs, allowing lightness into the sternum, letting go of any tension in the fingers, the palms, the wrists, the forearms, allowing lightness into the elbows, allowing the shoulders to just roll and release, and clenching the jaw,
Releasing the tongue from the top of the mouth. Allowing lightness into the cheekbones, the nose, unfurrowing the brow, and allowing lightness from the top of the head. I'm going to encourage you just to release and relax on your own for a few moments on your own. Allowing an easy breath. I'm going to invite you to reconnect with that breath though now. Encourage you to become aware of where your body is on the mat. Inviting a gentle motion into the fingers and the toes. Inviting a gentle motion into the arms and the legs. And you can stay exactly where you are if you want to, because you're hopefully at home and practicing in your own time. But if you want to, I invite you to join me for a seated asana to close practice together. When you're ready, I invite you to bring your hands to your heart as a way of gratitude to yourself for what you have created today, for the focus, the listening to your body. May you take these learnings and practice them in your day to day, on your own and with those you meet. And gratitude to the world that gives us these birds of prey. Amazing birds. Look after them. Keep them safe. Thank you for your time and your energy.